Boom. Greetings from YouTubeville once again. Danny Savage, Draft Guru. If you like the video, subscribe, give it a like, hit the hyper button. Also, click on the notification so you know when I go live. Listen, I apologize. I haven't had more content. Like, I literally feel like a truck ran me over. So, listen, bro. We got the Legacy Bowl coming up on Saturday. Friday night, I'll give you a quick preview of guys to look out for. Then after the game, I'll break it down. And I'll boom, 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 boom. I've probably put out between 30 to 40 HBCU players already. I want to get to at least 100, but everything is over. Now, listen, people. This is going to be mock draft 1.0. So, listen, I don't want to hear you bitching if you don't get, I could have got that guy. I should have got that guy. Bro, when you do 5,000 of these things, you have to get creative. So, you'll see along this journey, and it's a journey. Some days it'll be your team, but a all Big Ten draft. It'll be your team and all SEC draft, except an all ACC draft. 1 week it's going to be legacy players. You got to look that up. So listen, bro, when you do 10 million of these things, you got to get creative. So listen, bro, at 5, I plead the fifth, is Harbaugh. Listen, the Giants signed Jim Harbaugh 5 years, $100 million deal. Nate Dogg, boom. Thank you for jumping in the chat. So the Giants signed Jim Harbaugh for 5 years, $100 million they gave him. He answers to nobody but the owners. He's the GM. I mean, the de facto GM, coach, and whoever he wants, he drafts. They have a female they hired underneath him. She basically is going to handle all the breakdowns of the salary caps and the contracts. But he's in charge of everything. So don't be shocked you see the Giants in the Super Bowl for the next 5 years. And I've been saying that all along. So Giants know this is not one. Listen, it's crazy as it sounds. That team is like 3-4 players away from going to the Super Bowl. I'm telling you, I've been saying it for the longest. But he plays it safe at 5, and he picks Caleb Downs, safety out of Ohio State. Now, you got to realize, he originally started at Alabama, this kid. Crazy, he was a true freshman, productive. Then transferred to the Big Ten, Ohio State. We're going to find out what his true height is at the combine, because he's listed at 6 foot to me, and I personally don't think he's listed at 6 foot. In my mind, I think he's probably a little bit closer to 5'10", 200 pounds. Granted, Caleb Downs does play bigger than that. He's coming off a 68 tackle season, 3 passes defensed, 1 forced fumble, 2 INTs, and that's playing in the Big Ten. And prior to that, he was at Alabama, in the SEC. So he's played at a high level of football for all 3 years and in two different conferences that to me are, I like players in those conferences. Like I said, man, listen, you might like Pepsi, somebody like Coke. I like certain divisions. Now, the Redskins at 7, their pass rush. They need a pass rush, man. Dan Quinn, he's going to throw out a million. I think running back is too rich for the Redskins at 7. This is just my 2 cents. It means absolutely nothing, especially after last year. They took Jacob McCroskey-Corbett like in round 4, a little bit later, I think. So he turned out to be a pretty much decent guy for you towards the end of the season. But in my opinion, I think the Redskins do need a little bit of offensive line help. But Dan Quinn Dan Quinn has to think what helps Dan Quinn. He doesn't care anything about your team. He just cares about him. So he's going to reach. He's not going to reach. He's going to take. Listen, bro. Like I said, don't hate me. It's mock draft 1.0. Keldrick Falk out of Auburn. 6'5", 270, 280. We're going to get the real proper. He never showed up to Senior Bowl. He was never at the Shrine. So we're going to get his really real production. Excuse me, his really height and length, weight at the combine. Now, this kid doesn't turn 21 until September. Now, his best football was ahead of him. A lot of people are down on him because he didn't have that great of a 2025 season. Granted, his 2024 tape was 805 Vaughn. Boom. Thank you for jumping in the chat. Granted, Keldrick Falk's tape in 2024 was much better. But you can say that about TJ Parker, Peter Woods. You can say that about probably about half of the players that are going round one come the end of April. So listen, this kid's gonna show up at the combine, go crazy, crazy numbers, and boom, he goes to the Redskins at 7. Now, like I said, this is just like I kind of went BPA, so don't get at 12, the Cowboys are picking, and since staring them in the face was the offensive tackle Francis Muaga, 6'6", 330. I'm sorry, this kid weighs more than that. He's going to weigh in like 340, 340. He played at like 340, 345. 3-year starter. He was thrown to the Wolves as a true freshman. So he's a 3-year starter at right tackle. Now, he can get to the second level. There's film of this kid, and I'll put stuff out there, which you've seen it before, but he was my first offensive tackle I dropped back in May. Not Fano, not Lomu. This kid was the first offensive tackle I dropped back in May. So I think I got a little bit good of him. And people are going to say, well, I got to watch 3 games on him. 3 games on him. You got 3 years worth of tape, bro. So this kid has matured. He carries the most muscle on his body than any other player at the U. So basically, like a easy way to say it, lowest body fat percentage. Bro, this kid is not heavy. He's not fat, bro. This kid is a dancing bear. He can get to the second level. He can go, I got no problem. You got no problem pulling him. He's athletic enough for that. But also, people are going to say, oh, his best position might be guard in the NFL. And granted, that might be true, but we can say that for probably all the first round offensive tackles. Dunker, to me, Dunker's a straight right tackle from Iowa. And I'm going to put him out there. And if he fails, he fails. But I'm going to put him at right tackle. And if that don't work out, he's a Pro Bowl guard for the next 10 years. So you can say that about everyone, pretty much, in this right tackle class. At 20, the Cowboys are back on the board again, and they pick, check this out, man. This kid, everyone's talking about this kid now. See when I drop this kid, and when this kid works out at the combine, solid, he's gonna fly up into the end of the first round. But the Cowboys who don't pick round 2, thank you, Jerry, don't pick round 3, Dallas is gonna have to reach for this position. It is what it is, bro. It's like we've all been here in the fantasy football draft, and if you're picking 12 and you go double back, but now it's going 24 more picks before it gets back to you. You got to reach sometimes. They pick Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, safety, Toledo. Now, once again, this kid is listed as 6'3". I don't think he's 6'3". He's more like 6'2"-ish. He's a highlight reel. Number one, he'll take your head off going across the field. 7 passes defense, 2 INTs, 3 forced fumbled, 2 fumble recoveries, and 77 tackles. And I don't know why, like this kid was and a half a sack. And this kid's been on my board since September. I'm like, this kid's going to be a first-round pick. And it's just like to all the Johnny-come-latelys, it's like, oh, look at this kid. Look at that guy. I'm like, yeah, bro. Yeah. That's old school, bro. That's old news. I put him out back in September, man. So I said he's going to be a first-round pick then, and he's going to slide up into the first round. He's going to work out tremendous. The last pick of because we're going to do like all division conferences and divisions. This mock. The next one, the Eagles are on the board. Dun dun dun. Bro, they can go in a lot of different directions, but then you have like 15 draft picks. I think this would be great to get one of your overpriced wide receivers off the board. Brown, they probably ship him off for like some late picks. And Philadelphia Eagles grab Denzel Boston, wide receiver, University of Washington, 6'3", 210 pounds. He had a decent season, 62 catches for 881 yards and 11 touchdowns. This is another kid I gave you in May. And I said, all this kid has to do is he has 19 TDs in his last 2 years of production. And like I said, Washington came up. They're playing in the Big Ten. So that's more, These are not Big 12, you know, these are not Pac-10, Pac-12, whatever. These are Big 10 stats. That's different from other conferences. But like I said, he's listed between 6'2" and 6'3". I think he's probably closer to 6'2". Another kid, he's gonna train, he's gonna perform fabulous at the combine, and bam, Eagles take him. I don't think the Eagles reach for a right tackle at that pick because as of right now, Philadelphia Eagles have 10 draft picks. 10. And the comp picks have not even been given out yet. They're going to have 15 draft picks because they've been wheeling and dealing for the last 2 years. That's why they play with chess. Other teams play checkers. So when we recap this real quick, the Giants take Caleb Downs, safety, Ohio State. Redskins, Keldrick Faulk, edge, out of Auburn. Then you got the Cowboys. They're on the board with Francis Mulaga, Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, safety, and then the Eagles closing it out, Denzel Boston. If you like the video, subscribe, give it a like. It don't cost a dime. Because we all know when rocking with the GWO for life, over and out.